Rumors about Yellowstone National Park spread quickly, often fueled by dramatic headlines and viral social media posts. It's easy for misinformation to take hold, especially when the subject is as fascinating and potentially frightening as Yellowstone's volcanic history. Stories that hint at disaster or danger tend to capture our attention, even if they're not entirely accurate. In recent weeks, alarming headlines and sensational social media posts have fueled fears of a secret eruption and a sudden park-wide shutdown. Some posts even claim that officials are hiding the truth from the public. But let's get to the truth. There has been no volcanic eruption, and Yellowstone is not closed. The park remains open to visitors and life here continues much as it always has. What actually happened was a localized geological event, a natural occurrence in a place as geologically active as Yellowstone. It was not the awakening of the supervolcano that some fear. The park remains open, with only specific areas temporarily closed for safety, while experts assess the situation and ensure visitor protection. Tonight, we'll break down what really occurred. A hydrothermal explosion in a geyser basin. While dramatic, these explosions are not uncommon in Yellowstone's history, and they're far from the catastrophe some imagine. We'll explain what a hydrothermal explosion is, how it happens, and why it's a normal part of Yellowstone's ever-changing landscape. You'll learn how these hydrothermal events differ from a true volcanic eruption, and why the two shouldn't be confused. Yellowstone's dynamic landscape is shaped by powerful underground forces, but that doesn't mean disaster is imminent. The park's scientists monitor these forces closely so panic isn't warranted. We'll also address a separate real threat, a possible U.S. government shutdown that could close national parks for political reasons, unrelated to any geological activity. Understanding these two distinct issues, natural geological activity and political threats, is key to knowing what's really happening at Yellowstone and to making informed decisions about your visit. Our goal is clarity, not sensationalism. We want to provide you with facts, not fear. Let's separate fact from fiction together, and give you the information you need to enjoy Yellowstone safely and confidently. Here's what you should know before your next visit, so you can experience the wonder of Yellowstone with peace of mind. The event that sparked recent concern happened on July 23, 2024, a date that will be remembered by park officials and visitors alike. On that day, a sudden and powerful hydrothermal explosion rocked Biscuit Basin, just north of the iconic Old Faithful geyser. The force of the blast sent debris flying and left a visible scar on the landscape, a stark reminder of the park's volatile underground forces. The explosion damaged a section of the boardwalk that winds through the basin, splintering wood and scattering fragments across the steamy ground. Fortunately, no one was hurt, thanks in part to the quick response of park staff and the time of day. Park officials acted swiftly, closing Biscuit Basin to all visitors within hours. Their priority was clear: protect the public from further danger in an area where the ground itself had become unpredictable. The ground remained unstable, with minor steam releases and shifting earth continuing after the initial explosion. Scientists observed new cracks forming and increased geothermal activity, underscoring the need for caution. The closure, originally planned for just the 2024 season, has now been extended indefinitely. Teams of geologists and park scientists are monitoring the area around the clock, gathering data and waiting for signs that the underground system is stabilizing. This isn't simply about repairing a damaged boardwalk, it's about respecting the immense power beneath Yellowstone. The park's hydrothermal system is unpredictable, and safety comes first as experts wait for the earth to settle. Importantly, the rest of Yellowstone remains open to the public. This is a targeted safety measure, affecting only a small portion of the park, while the majority of its wonders are still accessible to visitors. Hydrothermal explosions are rare but well-documented hazards in Yellowstone. They are a natural part of the park's dynamic environment, shaped by forces deep below the surface. This incident serves as a powerful reminder of Yellowstone's ever-changing geology. It's not a sign of imminent disaster, but rather a testament to the living, breathing nature of the landscape. Park management is prioritizing safety, while also respecting the unpredictable power of nature. Rangers are on hand to answer questions and guide visitors safely through the park. The closure of Biscuit Basin is a precautionary step, not a crisis. It's about ensuring that everyone can continue to enjoy Yellowstone's beauty without unnecessary risk. Yellowstone's story is one of constant transformation. The land is always shifting, evolving, and surprising us with its power and beauty. Visitors can still experience the park's wonders, just not in this one area for now. Yellowstone remains a place of awe and discovery, where nature's forces are both a draw and a reminder of our place in the world. To truly understand what happened at Biscuit Basin, it's crucial to first grasp the difference between hydrothermal explosions and volcanic eruptions. These two types of events are often confused, but they are fundamentally different in both cause and effect. Volcanic eruptions involve molten rock or magma rising from deep within the earth. When pressure builds up, it can violently spew ash, lava, and gases into the atmosphere. Think of the dramatic eruption of Mount St. Helens in 1980, which changed the landscape for miles around. Hydrothermal explosions, on the other hand, are driven by water that's been superheated by the underground magma chamber. This water is trapped beneath the surface, under immense pressure, in Yellowstone's complex network of underground plumbing. When that pressure is suddenly released, perhaps by a small earthquake, a shift in the ground, or even a blockage clearing, water instantly flashes to steam, causing a violent explosion at the surface. The result is a powerful blast that can hurl rocks, mud, and steam high into the air. Unlike volcanic eruptions, no magma actually reaches the surface during a hydrothermal explosion. It's all about the rapid expansion of steam and the sudden release of pressure. These explosions can happen with little or no warning, making them especially dangerous. That's why visitors are always urged to stay on designated boardwalks and trails. Straying off can put you at serious risk. The Biscuit Basin event was a textbook example of a hydrothermal explosion. Dramatic, sudden, and powerful, but not volcanic in nature. It reshaped a small area of the landscape, blasted open new steam vents, and left behind unstable ground that can remain hazardous for years. Scientists closely monitored the area and found no signs of volcanic activity. There was no ground swelling, no swarms of earthquakes, and no unusual gas emissions that would signal a volcanic threat. Hydrothermal explosions are a natural part of Yellowstone's unique geothermal plumbing system, not its volcanic core. They're a reminder of the park's dynamic and ever-changing nature. While rare, these explosions are a normal part of the park's life cycle, shaping the landscape in subtle and sometimes dramatic ways. Understanding the difference between hydrothermal and volcanic explosions helps separate hype from reality, and reminds us why Yellowstone is both fascinating and unpredictable. Despite rumors, Yellowstone National Park is not shut down. Only Biscuit Basin is closed. The rest of the park's 2.2 million acres remain open. The park's 2025 season began as scheduled, with major entrances and attractions accessible. Visitors still enjoy Old Faithful, Grand Prismatic Spring, and wildlife in the valleys. Temporary closures for weather or wildlife are routine, not signs of crisis. The Biscuit Basin closure is a targeted safety measure, not a park-wide emergency. Yellowstone continues to welcome millions. Don't let misinformation keep you away. The park's wonders are open for exploration. After the Biscuit Basin explosion, scientists and park officials focused on understanding the event and ensuring public safety. The Yellowstone Volcano Observatory confirmed this was a hydrothermal, not volcanic event. Increased monitoring is underway, with new equipment tracking ground temperature and steam emissions. This isn't a sign of escalating danger, but a proactive step to learn more and protect visitors. The incident is a scientific opportunity to better forecast future events. Park officials remind everyone, stay on boardwalks, respect closures, and never touch thermal features. The closure of Biscuit Basin is a visible example of Yellowstone's safety-first approach. The park's beauty comes with real risks. Respect them. Science and caution keep Yellowstone safe for all. While geological threats aren't closing Yellowstone, a government shutdown could. If Congress fails to pass a budget, funding for the National Park Service stops, potentially closing all 429 national parks. This isn't hypothetical, it's happened before, disrupting travel and hurting local economies. The Secretary of the Interior has ordered parks to stay open during a shutdown, but this is controversial. Operating parks without staff raises safety and sanitation concerns. Park professionals warn this is risky and unsustainable. The looming shutdown is a political issue, not a geological one. Any closure would be administrative, not due to natural hazards. As the deadline nears, everyone is watching Washington for a solution. Yellowstone's future depends as much on politics as on nature. The debate over keeping parks open during a government shutdown is heated and deeply emotional. Former National Park Service leaders urge full closure if funding stops, citing past problems with vandalism, safety, and sanitation concerns. Staffing shortages have already strained parks. A shutdown would make things even worse for everyone. Some states, like Utah, have paid to keep parks open, but this is costly and not a long-term fix for the nation. The question remains, should parks stay open with minimal staff, risking damage, or close to protect precious resources? The answer isn't simple, But the stakes are high for Yellowstone and all of America's national parks. As the deadline approaches, park managers and visitors anxiously await a decision. The outcome will affect millions of travelers and the future of these treasured places for generations. The real threat isn't underground, it's in the halls of Congress, where decisions are made. Yellowstone's fate hangs in the balance, waiting for what comes next. Planning a Yellowstone trip soon? The park is open and safe to visit for everyone. Biscuit Basin is closed as a precaution, but there's no sign of volcanic danger at this time. The main risks are the same as always: unpredictable weather, wildlife, and geothermal hazards. Dress in layers, check forecasts, and be ready for sudden changes in conditions. Stay at least 100 yards from bears and wolves at all times, 25 yards from other animals, and never feed any wildlife. Carry bear spray, and know how to use it properly. Respect all closures and warning signs, especially in thermal areas. Stay on boardwalks, the ground can be dangerously thin and unstable. Don't risk your safety for a photo opportunity. By following these simple rules, you'll have a safe, unforgettable adventure. Yellowstone's wonders await those who visit responsibly and thoughtfully. Enjoy the wild, but always respect its power.